ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Talk It Out podcast. It is Talk It Out Thursday. I am Adam. He is Steven. We got a good show. If anybody, I've been trying to put out little preview shows on the old Tick of Talk, and then post it to Twitter and stuff, kind of giving you guys a little bit of what we're going to talk about tonight. But we're excited to be back and to get this going tonight. But Steven, my man, you doing good?
I'm good. I laughed with you earlier. I'm rocking the Nashville SC hat. The MLS season's getting ready to kick back off soon. That's my home team, baby. That's our team. In their own new stadium this year, too. We'll probably talk a little soccer at some point. Adam's going to look really bewildered, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Before we start, we always hit you guys with this. Please hit the like, hit the comment, share, subscribe. We want to hear from you guys. So if we're doing shitty, let us know. If you like what we're doing, tell us that too. Steven likes responding to comments. So
I know, and we need more of them. We need more of them. I can't respond to comments that aren't there.
We need some subscribers too, not going to lie, but that'll come. Everybody, but we do appreciate everybody that tunes in, listens, and has subscribed so far. So if you haven't, go hit the like, hit the comment, share this, subscribe, get us out there, and let us know how we're doing. So, all right, you ready?
Let's do it, man. We got a fun array of topics.
We do have a fun array of topics. I think we're going to start off with a little MLB tonight, though, right?
Yeah. I think we're going to jump in. So the MLB, for those who, if you're watching this and you don't know what that stands for, that's Major League Baseball.
Oh, Jesus.
They're in the midst of a lockout. Owners. Okay, let's do this really quickly. There's a difference between lockout and strike, okay? Yeah. Lockout is due to the owners not wanting to do something that the players want to do. Strike is when the players don't want to do it. So it's the billionaires are upset with the millionaires.
Yep.
And they can't come to a conclusion. They've been meeting every day, I think, for this entire week.
Yep.
Jeff Passan on ESPN said that they've made very little headway.
Yep.
The only new thing to come out of all of this has been the fact that they have put a deadline on it now. February 28th is the deadline. If they cannot come to an agreement by then, they will start to cancel games. Yeah. Why is that a big deal? Because when they cancel games, they will also not be paying the players.
Yep.
So there is a massive deadline over top of them right now. And I know this is a topic that people get tired of because literally it is. It's billionaires mad at millionaires fighting about millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's why, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say my piece, and then Adam, I'm going to let you do it because you're a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
I root for the Marlins, so literally I have no dog in the hunt ever. It's frustrating because this is the reason why baseball is waning in popularity. It is. They've had too many instances. How you know better than I do, and if you guys are watching, drop it in the comments too. How many strikes or lockouts have they had in the last 20 years, 30 years? They're constantly doing something like this, and it's a bad – okay, we're in the middle of a pandemic, okay? Yeah. We're in the middle of people losing jobs, and you have people who make $200 million over 10 years arguing with billionaires about wanting more money.
Yep.
It's a horrible look, and it's why baseball is not – you can call it America's pastime. It is not. It's a nostalgia thing now at this point. And I watch it occasionally. I definitely watch when we get to the postseason. Not watching my team because they don't make the postseason. But
look,
it's lost that luster because of the fact that people are pissed off at the players and the owners.
Yeah. Look, I am a baseball guy at heart. And if anybody knows me, knows that. Baseball is, it's always been probably my favorite sport of all time, just because I played that growing up, and I played basketball. I wasn't allowed to play football, but it's sad. It's sad. That's all I can think of. It's sad that, like you said, that a guy that's making $250 million over 8-10 years is pissed off that he's not making enough money. Look, this is a job. That's a job for them. And they get to do something that they love to do. And not that for instance, me and you don't love our job, but we don't make $25 million a year. You know, if I was making $1 million a year in my job right now, I wouldn't say a damn thing. I wouldn't have anything to say. But it's always been it's always been does it not seem it's always baseball? It's always baseball fighting over money. Whether it's the owners not wanting to pay players, wanting more money. It's always baseball, and I don't get it because it's guaranteed money.
I'll tell you. You know why it's always baseball?
Guaranteed money.
I'll tell you why it's always baseball. And I know we're not going to spend a lot of time on this
Mm-mm.
because there's not a lot of people who give a shit about baseball anymore. To be honest,
I mean, I do, but
it's a regional. Everyone talks about it's turned into a regional sport. Does great numbers in attendance. Does great numbers like we live in Tennessee. Tennessee does great numbers for the Braves.
mm-hmm.
Right, Braves, maybe a little mixture of the Reds, maybe a little bit of Cardinals.
Yeah.
But the reason it's always baseball is baseball has the most powerful players union in all of sports.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to look bad. They're not afraid to strike or fight back. And then the owners, this is what frustrates me. And it's across sports. Don't cry poor to me. Don't cry poor. Oh, I'm losing. are you losing? Are you really losing money? That's called cooking the books to make it look like you're losing money when you're not. You are a billionaire owning a franchise. It's like the dream for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
I know.
We talked about it about the Broncos. The Broncos are getting ready, are being sold, and the asking price is $4 billion.
Yeah.
So don't cry poor to me. It's a bad look when Bryce Harper, who's making $300 million or whatever he's making, is pissed off because he's got to play an extra couple spring training games. Or he's not getting 15% instead of 10%. It's a bad look, and that's why people don't tune into baseball as much.
I mean, also, the meetings this week have lasted 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Each meeting's lasted 10 to 15 minutes. So what's that? You can already tell from that it's not solving a damn thing right now. You can't have a meeting like that and you're in the middle of a lockout or whatever we want to call it, right? And have a 15-minute meeting. It's not going to get anywhere. Right. And it's not. It's just not. So I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, we're not going to have a lot of differentiating opinions on this because we both agree it's bullshit. Right. Honestly,
it's a horrible look.
It's just a horrible look for one of, as you said, used to be. I mean, I still love baseball, but America's pastime,
and really quickly too. You played baseball, like you said. You played it at a much higher level than a lot of people did. Yeah. And one of the things, I think one of the more frustrating things is a person who lives in Nashville, who went to school in Chattanooga, love the sounds, love the lookouts. It's affecting the minor league game too. One of the big points of contention is Major League Baseball no longer wants to pay the salaries of the minor league players. Yeah. Like what? One of the things they talked about today was literally they said that minor league players who are going to be on the roster for spring training should not have to be paid by the major league team because they're trainees. That was the word. They're not really players.
Yeah, that would piss me off to be called a trainee.
What? I mean, it's just it's frustrating with it when it's baseball. Baseball has screwed up so much, and if they don't get this solved by the 28th, it will just be another blow where people are like, I'll tune in the postseason.
It's a shame though, Stephen, because there are a lot of baseball fans, true hardcore baseball fans in the world, right? And for this to happen again and keep continuing to happen and them not come to any resolution yet, I don't even think they're close, honestly, because like I said, if you're having 10, 15-minute meetings, you're not close on resolving the issue or whatever they're trying to accomplish here. So my assumption on this is they're going to cancel games because I don't think they're going to get it done.
Here's one other thing too. Part of it, and this is the last thing I'll say with baseball, is that part of this is they pay their players so much. It's all guaranteed too.
Yeah.
So baseball players are the only ones to sit games, willing to sit because they've got so much. NFL, the last time they had it, the owners lockout. The lockout.
Yeah.
They caved right before preseason started because the players didn't want to miss paychecks.
Yeah.
NBA did. They did go into the season some that year that LeBron won with the Heat.
Yeah.
And they've done it. They've done it a couple of times, but they've bounced back too at the same time. So I mean, it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a bad look, man. It really is.
Yeah, I don't want to spend any more time on it because I'm a baseball fan, and it irks me to death that this is still happening. So, and again, my assumption is going to be I don't think they're going to reach a deal by the 28th. I think they're going to cancel some games, and it'll get resolved. I mean, you're not going to lose a whole season out of it, but yeah, it's a horrible look, like you said on the MLB. So
yeah, I agree. So next time, now we get a little bit more NBA flavor to us.
All right.
So let's have a little fun. Obviously, the the All-Star game was this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to talk about the atrocity that was the slam dunk contest.
Yeah, that was the worst one
because it hurts my heart. But they released the top 75 NBA players of all time.
Yeah.
And we kind of knocked this around at the office the other day. We're like, this is a topic we got to cover because there's some disagreements. Me and you have some disagreements, which is always fun for the viewers.
Yeah.
And then we have some disagreements on who should be on the list. And then there's more of where they're at.
Yeah.
That bothers some of us. So let's, to kind of help everyone see, obviously we've got the list. There's the list for you guys. It's not in any particular order. We do know number one was MJ.
Yeah.
Number two was LeBron.
Yeah.
Right. And it was kind of this weird flow. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm gonna let you go. I don't know how I feel about some of the people who are on the list and where they're kind of placed.
So James Harden was really high on that list.
KD was super high.
Was really high on that list. Russell Westbrook was really high on that list. Now, I wish we had how they had them ranked. We couldn't really find it, but I think Magic was like 5. And there's some people in here that we talked about. For instance, okay, let's get the cat out of the bag because I know you want to put this in here.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Steven were debating the other day. Steven's favorite player of all time is Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway is not in the top 75.
Don't you talk blasphemy.
Now, the top 75, too, is every position. So I'm saying he's not in the top 75, but he might be in the top, I don't know, 30 or so of point guards. But I don't think he's in the top 75. Now, you can plead your case and tell me why you think he deserves to be in the top 5. How many championships did he win? I mean, we're going to go down that road again.
Oh, let's go
down that road. Yeah, let's go down that road.
You want to go away from the 75th anniversary team?
Yeah, let's just on the script. We're going to flip this.
Okay.
Take that damn thing off the screen.
What are we talking about? What do you want to talk about?
All right. So, what makes? How are we going to say this? Because how we talked about it at work. What makes? How do you rank certain players? I guess in the history.
No, it's the ultimate conversation. Is we have? There's 100% agreement between me and Adam on who the greatest player of all time is. It's Michael Jordan.
Yes.
It's not LeBron James.
Yes.
And one of the things we talked about was this was my issue with LeBron James. And this is where you get in the context of, are you counting rings?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you counting titles? Because if you're going by titles, the best of all time is Bill Russell.
Yes.
He's got like 13.
Yeah. And he won as a player coach, all that.
Jordan was 6-0.
Yep.
6 NBA final MVPs. Correct?
Yeah.
We all know how bad the Bulls were when he got there. Yeah. Right? And he was with the Bulls his entire career.
Well, not really.
3 straight. Took a break. 3 straight.
He was there his whole career.
We're not counting the Wizards. Don't count the Wizards. Come on now.
Okay.
Yeah. My thing is he lifted the franchise to 6 titles. If you are going to be considered one of the greatest players of all time, LeBron James, you're not 4 and 6 in NBA championship finals. I'm not counting rings.
You are counting rings.
That's not. No.
You're saying
We talked about
6 and
this.
0 in the finals.
He lifted his team. With the conversation that we had at work was, it's not the 4 titles that bugs me. It's the 6 losses. If you are the best player on the planet, lift your team in 2 more of those and be 6 and 4.
Okay,
That's it.
I get
and we
that.
looked over who he played against, and he should have won 2 more.
He probably should have, but think about the teams that he went to. Okay, Cleveland was garbage when they got there. He took them to one final before he left to go to Miami.
Shouldn't have won that one. I'll give you
Shouldn't
that.
have won that one. No.
Spurs, he was ahead of his time. No.
They probably should have won
all 4 in Miami.
3, at least 3 out of the 4 at Miami.
He should have won all 4 in Miami. They had the 3 best players in the NBA at the time.
Now, what I want to go back to is when he went back, LeBron James makes his team better, obviously, because the year after, when he left Miami and went back to Cleveland, Cleveland was the worst team in basketball. And what did they do? They went to the finals
and got their doors blown off.
They did go, and they got their doors blown off. But you're saying lift the team up. Right?
He lifted his team. Okay.
He took his team to the finals, bro.
And he got the doors blown off of him by the Warriors.
Okay. I don't know what else when you say lift the team up. How can you not say that team was the worst team in the NBA? The next year, they are in the finals.
Peyton Manning is 2-2 in Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He is widely considered one of probably the 2 best quarterbacks of all time, depending on who you talk to.
He's second,
right?
But yeah.
2-2. Jim Kelly went to 4 straight Super Bowls and is 0-4.
Yeah.
Do you talk about him as the same kind of talent? Because the Bills were garbage when he got there, and they were garbage after he left. Do you talk about him in the same breath as Peyton Manning?
No.
Because he didn't lift his teams in the Super Bowl.
I think of Jim Kelly as
if you want to be called King, if you literally take the nickname of King when you're in high school and you want to consider yourself the GOAT, I will tell you this. Me and you talked about this. I will concede that he is statistically the greatest player of all time.
He is. And look,
he cannot sniff MJ's Jordans.
I'm not defending the fact that it's not MJ 1 and LeBron 2, or even, people throw Kobe in there. People can throw, Magic.
Bouncing back to the list, Kobe was number 10.
Now, see, that I do have a problem with, but we'll get to that in a second. I wanted to kind of hit this, but I am not saying LeBron James is in my book the greatest player of all time. I actually look at it like this, honestly. I look at it as...
No, you need to throw out your argument. You know the one.
What?
Zaza Pachulia. Zaza.
I'm not going to, because you say you're not counting titles, but if you want to, Zaza Pachulia has 5 NBA titles.
And he's a role player. That's like, what's his name? Who's the guy who has all the rings in the NFL, but he's just a bench warmer? Who is that?
I don't know. We talked about that the other day too.
There's one, like, when you go to teams enough and you're the role player, you're the token dude on the end of the bench.
Yeah, when you
pick up rings.
Yeah.
But when you're the best player who leads it, dude, lift your team one, like he should have, like, lift your team one more time. You know what I mean? Lift it. I'll give you, he shouldn't have won the first year when he lost Kyrie and Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, there was
love. That he won the last 2 years, he got his doors blown off by the super team.
Yeah.
But in Miami, dude, they should have won all 4. They should have won all 4, and that would have made it 5. And then you're 5-5, and I'll have a different discussion. But you got a losing record overall in the finals, and you want to consider yourself the best player of all time? No. And these kids who come up to me and say that he's better than Michael Jordan, no.
Wait. Okay, you said lift your team in the finals, but you're not counting rings. That makes no sense.
Lift your team. Dude, you can't have...
How many straight finals did that man go to?
8.
8.
How many did he win?
4. 3.
3.
3 because 4.
3.
Yeah.
3 finals out of 3. He went 8 years in a row, and he only won 3.
Okay.
This ain't baseball, man. This ain't going 3 for 8.
Dude, but my point is that you're saying you're not counting rings.
I'm not counting. I'm counting
But you said
losses.
win another one. You said win another one. Win another one.
No, I'm saying is the greatest player. If you want, here's the thing.
He's not going to be the greatest
In my
player.
mind, I agree with you. But people who make the argument, if he wants to be considered the greatest player of all time, to those people, dude, you can't have a losing record in the NBA Finals on your resume. That lopsided.
Okay, fine. He will go down statistically as the greatest basketball player of all time. Statistically.
I'll give, and me and you said, I've never met a player who had more hype who lived up to it. I'm not bashing LeBron James.
No, I'm not either. I mean, the guy
is probably number 2 on the list. I got but he's a number 2 with a bullet to me. He's not number 1A or number 1B.
We were fortunate enough at our age, or what we are. We got to see some of the on this list that we had up. I mean, a lot of the greatest players ever in, Magic, Bird, Jordan. And I think about it as generations, right? Like you had Magic and Bird, and then Jordan came, and then Kobe came, and Shaq, and then LeBron. So you can't. For me, it's just me personally, and I'm sorry if it offends. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Dude, if that offends somebody, turn the channel off. I don't want your subscription.
It can't offend anybody. I mean, it's just, but for instance, people like my children didn't really get to see him play. Michael Jordan play. They saw Kobe, and they saw LeBron are the two that we would talk about. I mean, you can obviously mix a lot of these other guys in there. I got a question. I got a question for you. Who's the best big man in the game ever? Who would you rank number 1 as the best big man? See, it's Shaq. I would too, and I got a lot of shit for that.
I didn't give you any.
Not you, just a buddy of mine. He's like, no, it's Bill Russell. Why? Shaq because he won 13 titles? Because he won 13 titles?
Well, he also won as a player, a coach, and a player coach. Like
he did do that.
And the NBA Finals MVP is named after him.
So, by the way, I just scrolled a name here, and I know Allen Iverson was not real high on the list.
He was not, which surprised us. But the one that got us, I think, when you're looking through here, I'm not going to pick out anybody in general, Carmelo Anthony. Yeah. And I'm not going to pound on anybody, Kevin Durant. But my issue, I think one of the issues we had is current players who are still developing their legacy should not be on this list.
Like, okay.
I'm sorry, I love Steph Curry, but he's like number 13.
Yeah. Giannis.
Giannis was 20. I remember that. Giannis was 24.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. If Brandon, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I love Giannis and what he's doing. He will go down as, I'm not going to say a top 10 player. I don't know, but Giannis is really stinking good. Obviously, he's MVP. He's won a title. He's still fairly young. So, but to have him at 24 ahead of, some of these other guys, I was just like, it's crazy to me.
I think our issue with the list was more the way that it was ranked.
Yeah.
John Stockton was several spots ahead of Isaiah Thomas. I think Isaiah Thomas is head and shoulders a better player than John Stockton.
Yeah.
Maybe not statistically. Oscar Robinson was ahead of Kobe Bryant. I think all of us who've watched the game would clearly and no, me and you did not watch Oscar Robinson. Neither did half the nation that's still freaking alive. Okay.
Yes.
But Kobe Bryant was Kobe Bryant, and you would put him higher.
Yeah.
But the issues come in when you start looking at some of those for us. When you start looking at these current players that were ranking so high. KD was like 15. That's too high, man. That's too high.
I don't remember where Harden was. Harden was pretty high too, I think, wasn't he?
Harden, I think, was in the 20s. Somewhere around
maybe
there.
Early 30s, something like that.
You just start looking around, and it's like, man, when you look at this list and you see names like Kevin McHale and Reggie Miller, Dirk Nowitzki, Hakeem came in at 11.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, I'll give Chris Paul this list. He's on the tail end of his carear. Yeah. Dominique Wilkins is another one. I love Dominique. Dwayne Wade. Yeah. I mean, you just start looking over, and I think part of it is it's tough to argue generations.
Yeah.
It's the whole who would win in a one-on-one game or the
Yeah.
whole Steph couldn't play in the 80s. No, he couldn't, but you know what? He doesn't have to.
He doesn't. Steph Curry has single-handedly ruined the NBA for young kids because young kids now, all they think they can do is step 10 feet behind the three-point line and hit shots. Not that I don't mind it. I mean, Steph
I will
Curry's the
say he
greatest
has made
shooter
it
of all
better.
time, by the way. Huh?
I will say he has made it better. Do you know why?
No.
Because any skinny white any skinny white kid, any skinny black kid, any kid at all can go and shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And they can practice and they can keep going and going and going. Not everyone is touched by God to be LeBron James
Yeah.
or Giannis.
Yeah.
You know, those freak athletes. Steph's not the biggest guy. He went to Davidson. But he shows man, he works hard. He's a hell of a
Yeah.
shooter and he's carved out his spot. And now people feel like, hey man, I could play.
I mean,
if I practice enough, I could maybe do it.
greatest shooter of all time. Honestly.
Neck and neck with Ray Allen for me.
I mean, he'll probably go down as he already set the record, I think, for threes. So
yeah, he passed it this year.
And he's like 33. So I mean,
but before we move to the next topic too, Adam, really quickly, you guys drop in your comments on this. Who do you we've got the list up. Yeah. Who do you not like on the list? And don't throw out names that you don't know, like Bob McAdoo. You know, he was 80s, okay? Don't pick on people you have no clue who they are.
We might have some older viewers, Steven.
Yeah, you're right. We might.
I can tell you this. I bet there would be a lot of people, if you comment, that will have LeBron 1 and Michael Jordan 2.
Here, y'all. Just take a really close look at it real quick, okay? These are for the older viewers. It needs to be blown up some, probably.
Now he's ripping on our old viewers.
Just stare at it for a second. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
And screenshot.
Okay. So now what I want you to do is you tell us what you don't like. If you want to tell me that my take on LeBron James is bad, I'll comment back.
Yeah.
I'll comment back. I'm all for it. So let's move to the next topic, man, because we're 27 minutes in and we got a fun last one to go over.
Yeah, let's hit it. Hit it. Just put it up there.
Zion Williamson
is fat.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. On the thumbnail, I tried to find a picture of fat Zion.
You couldn't find one.
And I found several, but they weren't good enough for me for the thumbnail. This is not about. We're both bigger guys. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not going to say because he's fat. Okay,
no, but he is.
So for those who don't know, I'm going to give backstory because I like to give backstory to why we pick a topic. J Reddick played for him. Orlando Magic icon.
Didn't play Reddick, for him. Played with him.
Played with him. And he basically called him an apathetic, disconnected teammate.
Yeah.
This all stemmed from the fact that CJ McCollum came out and said he had not even heard from Zion since being traded to the Pelicans.
Is that still true? Look. Is that still true?
It is.
So he still hasn't heard. Okay.
He still hasn't heard. As far as they've reported, this was like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a bad look, man. Like Zion was supposed to be the face of the league, right? He was going to come in. Now, it sucks. I'm sorry. There's a draft lottery, and you ended up in New Orleans. I'm sorry. Ja Morant ended up in Memphis, and he's doing damn fine.
Yeah.
He's apathetic. He doesn't want to be in New Orleans. He's a bad teammate. He's going to be a bad teammate till he gets out of New Orleans.
I don't have anything to disagree with on this, but I think for him, is it age? You know what I mean? To me, but it doesn't matter, Steven. You are an NBA player. If you get a talent,
number one overall pick.
I bet a lot of people right now that picked 1 and 2 are wishing they would have taken Ja Morant number 1. But neither here nor there. My point goes back to, even if you're a young kid, right, in the NBA and you're a one and done. So you're 19, 20 years old, making a shit ton of money now, and you're a lottery pick, number 1 pick. Doesn't give you the excuse when you get a talent in like CJ McCollum, who is one of the best in the NBA, I think, and can be one of the best in the NBA. I mean, him and Dame Lillard were probably one of the best backcourts there are. You probably put them top 5. There's a lot of good backcourts, Steph and Clay, and I mean, shit, I can't even think all the time. Like Chris Paul and Devin Booker, there's a lot of good backcourts. But when you get a player of that caliber and you don't reach out to him and just say, "Hey, man, glad to have you on our team. Hopefully, you can, help us turn some things around." And because let's be honest, they're shit. They are horrible. They're horrible. And I don't know if they'd be doing any better if Zion was in there, honestly. And I don't like the fact that you can say that it's a young thing. It's because he's young and maybe a little still immature. But you're supposed to be the face of the franchise. And if you if you're not as send a text message, something. Have some form of communication with your team. I don't even know if he's talking to his team now.
Well, I want to push back on one thing. So I had someone tell me this, and I feel like it relates to this situation a little bit. We use being young. Oh, they're young, right? They don't know any better as an excuse a lot of times. Being young is not an excuse for being an asshole.
Yeah.
Being young is not an excuse for being a piss poor teammate.
Yeah.
The dude has been the best player on any team he's played on probably since he was in grade school.
Yeah.
He's been a part of a team from that point on. You're talking middle school, high school, AAU, Duke.
Yeah, think about who he was coached with at Duke.
Teammate.
Think of who his coach was
by Coach K.
You think Coach K would stand for that shit?
Absolutely not. So I mean, it's not being young for him is not an excuse. One part of it, yeah, he's paid, and part of it is he doesn't want to be in New Orleans, and that sucks. I'm sorry. Like I'm a fan of a small market team. I'm an Orlando Magic fan. I've been an Orlando Magic fan my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
We lucked our way into Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq left for greener pastures in LA, and Penny basically fell apart and went. He played. What's funny, I was joking, is he's my favorite player of all time. He only played 6 years. He played 16 years, I think, is what we figured out, right?
Yeah.
16 years, only 6 of them was in Orlando. But I'm a fan of a small market team. A lot of it in all the sports. I'm a fan of the Magic. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of the Colts, which is a small market team. I'm a fan of the Marlins, which is not a small market team, but they treat it like it.
Yeah.
And it sucks for those small market teams, but he never wanted to be when New Orleans got that ball, it shattered everybody because everyone's hope that year was what? It was that the Knicks would win the lottery and he would end up in New York. And you know what? He'd probably be a better teammate if he had.
Probably. That's sad to say.
He's disgruntled. He's fat. And he doesn't want to play right now. Well, I'm not going to say that. But he can't get healthy, which reminds me a lot of, let's go back. There was a draft several years ago, a long time ago. 1-2, heavy debate. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Greg Oden, Kevin Durant. Greg Oden, I'm not calling him Greg Oden, but Greg Oden could not stay healthy.
Yeah. I don't think Greg Oden was a bad teammate, though. Greg Oden just couldn't stay healthy.
No, and I don't know if he's a bad teammate or if he's trying to make a point by not reaching out. It's just a bad look. And J Reddick is, for those who don't listen to him, podcast-wise, show-wise, he's amazing. And he's not a hot take artist.
No, but he'll get on your ass. He will get on your ass if you're not doing something that you're not supposed to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for him to say that
about a player he played with,
yes, that he's immature, bad player, bad teammate, then I'm going to go with J Reddick. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go with the 20, 21-year-old kid out of 1 year in college and making millions of dollars now. I'm going to go with what the 20-year vet. I mean, J Reddick played forever, dude. Played for 17 years,
Magic,
probably.
Baby.
I love J Reddick. So I think you're right, though, Stephen, on the part where you said that we use being young in a wrong sense of doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can be immature. You can have all the money in the world. But basketball is a team sport. Unfortunately, this isn't bowling. It's not golf. It's a team sport. And especially now, I thought I saw something about this too, that like he's not talking to anybody right now on the team throughout this whole injury. So if that's the case, that's even freaking worse, dude. That's even worse. But he has the same injury that Derrick Henry had. And Derrick Henry was back in, what was it, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, something like that. Now, we didn't look 100%, but Zion also doesn't know how to land right when he jumps up to grab a rebound or dunk a ball. And I think at the time he was like the second heaviest player when he was playing, the second heaviest player in the NBA.
They said he had to trim down. You know who he
Yeah.
reminds me of?
Who?
Sean Kemp.
Yeah, Sean Kemp was a big dude.
And it wore on him too,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
explosiveness that he plays with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
So
I don't know. If I'm a Pelicans fan, I'm not happy.
I think if I'm an NBA fan, I'm not happy just because that kid had so much potential in the way that he's treating the team, the city, the NBA in general. It's just, again, it's kind of like the MLB stuff we talked about. It's not a good look, especially for him, because now
Yeah.
what happens, right? Say his contract's up. Who's going to want that? You know what I mean? Who's going to want a guy that's not a good teammate? I can deal with immaturity, and being a dumbass in the locker room and stuff like that, but I don't want somebody that's not going to support my franchise. I don't want that.
I agree, man.
And
It's
it
gonna be
sucks
a
too
rough.
because that guy
He's
has
gonna have
all
to
the talent in the
retrain.
world. He has all the talent in the world to be a top 10 player in the NBA right now. Currently, he could be a top 10 player, and it's probably not going to happen.
There's a reason why he got picked ahead of Ja Morant.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
There is. So take us out.
Yeah. So as always, you guys, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment. Remember, again, when we get to 250, Adam is sending you to next year's Super Bowl.
I'll buy somebody a jersey.
He's gonna buy a jersey. Any jersey. It can be an NFL jersey. It can be you can be one of those guys who rock an NBA jersey. Not me. But I mean, you whatever floats your boat, man.
You want a Bryce
Tyler
Harper
Hero
jersey?
he'll find one.
I'll get you a Bryce Harper jersey.
Bryce Harper, there you go.
Yeah.
Tatis, whatever it is, whatever you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
250 subscribers. It's not that far away. It's not that hard. Hit subscribe. Right next to it is this beautiful little bell. Ding the bell so you don't miss one of the episodes, even though it's pretty easy to remember. Talk It Out Tuesday, Talk It Out Thursday.
Yep.
But if Adam may do some breaking news ones here and there too. Maybe I'll throw one in there. We'll see. Yeah. But make sure you guys are doing it. Make sure you guys are commenting too. We want to talk with you guys, not just at you.
Yep.
And really quickly too, I want to thank. I think as of the recording of this, we're at 64, 65. I think
somewhere in there.
Subscribers. Yeah. Thank you to all of you guys who subscribe. I told Adam today. I have another podcast that I do that has that reaches a little bit wider an audience. And one of the things that we said was in the beginning was if I can just have one person who's going to listen, one person who's going to watch, that's pretty dang cool. So the fact that there's 65 of you is pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to take us out with it. I mean, it's one of those things too. Today, any day, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever we do, we have our takes. And if you love them or you hate them or you think they're garbage or they're the greatest thing of all time, the cool thing with this show is that me and Adam, we meet at the mic and we talk it out. Talk to you guys next time.